as well.
Absolutely, and we promise out there's going to be a season ticket holder event at AMF Bowling Lanes on November 2nd. Haven't officially released that yet, but if you're watching this, you deserve the scoop. That'll be a full team event where it's a season ticket holder, similar to our barbecue, but our full team is there just as a thank you. And then an event like this here at Pinto's where you can go out, meet the players. Pool is always fun. Alarms are going off here in your office as we're sitting here recording. So, but those are the type of events there that certainly we'll have in the first half of the year that people will enjoy. And as long as we don't get kicked out of here, we're going to continue to shoot.
No, this is a test that the lights are flashing. It's an emergency test that they do every once in a while, and it's going to be annoying. But I think we should. It usually ends pretty quickly.
This is a live tape show, so. But I want to talk about the ice. I know poked my head out there yesterday. They're getting the floor ready. They got the chillers on. Ice is going in this week. Just talk about that.
Well, to me, it makes it feel like the season's not just right. It's here. I mean, when the ice starts going in, and the building here do a great job preparing the ice and get ready for our training camp. And of course, we have to make sure we're Bob Oliver, who's sort of master of a lot of things for us here, will make sure that the logos, and Stephen will be out there making sure the logos are pounced down in the right location and they look good. All the corporate sponsors we have, but when the ice goes in, it makes me feel like there's a chill in the air. I know it's going to get a little cooler this weekend, which is great. Makes me feel like hockey season's here again. And for me, I'm going into my 42nd training camp, I think, if it is 41, 42, something like that. And I still look forward to the opening of the season, opening a training camp. And the ice just makes it feel like we're dropping the puck pretty soon.
Damon Markiewicz along with Bruce Landon inside Bruce's office here in the Mass Mutual Center. Another weekly webisode. Appreciate Conca Sport and Fitness, the new title sponsor. You'll see a lot of them throughout the year. Really appreciate them stepping up. And another topic, speaking of hockey, the prospect tournament in Traverse City, Michigan going on right now. I know you get updates from the coaching staff, Rob Riley, Brad Larson, Nolan Pratt. How are things going out there?
Things are going great. I've talked to Rob after every game. Got an email or a text yesterday from Chris McFarland. Rob is really impressed. He's impressed as I ask him all the time. Never mind the normal guys like Kubelik's and the guys we know are capable. I'd like to know who the surprises are, who has looked good in camp that probably has really caught the attention of the coaching staff and the people in Columbus. Obviously, David Savard, from what I've heard, has been the best defenseman out there. Maybe the best defenseman in the entire tournament, not just with the Columbus organization. So good for David, and it's certainly something we expected. But from what I understand, Mike Thomas, the young man out of St. John who's joined the organization, coach thinks we'll really like him, the style. A guy by the name of Olivier Gabriel, who's at camp, and Rob says this kid's going to push for a job. He's going to come here and he's going to push for a job. He's a big, strong kid, very smart hockey player. The goaltending's been very strong with Alan York and Paul Dainton, so you got a nice little matchup, a little battle going on there. But overall, Rob has been very impressed with what he's seen, and not only the guys that are a year older, year stronger. He also talked very highly about Dalton Prout. As you know, we can use a physical presence on defense. Dalton will be his first year pro, but he's built like a big man. He's a solid. He hits like a truck. I think he's gonna be a very popular player here. So, and the guys like Theo Ruth and Cody Goldbooth who are there as well. I've shown that a year under the belt has made them more mature and better hockey players. So right now, Rob's very excited. They won again last night, 3-1 over the Minnesota Prospects, and have one more game coming up. I believe it's tonight.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, 2-1 record at the prospect tournament they played tonight, and just a nice segue, nice start to the hockey season. And while the prospect tournament's been going on in Traverse City, we've been gearing up for opening night here. Over the last week, we've been able to announce some guests as part of our opening night festivities. I know something we've teased on here for about 3 months now, honoring former Calder Cup championship teams. We've been able to release Jimmy Roberts, the former coach, be part of that. John Forsland, former play-by-play broadcaster, former goaltender Kay Whitmore, former captain Rob DeMaio, and former sniper there Michelle Picard. Just talk about the opening night and how nice it is to be able to get some of these guys to come in.
Well, this was something that Peter Cooney, the former owner of the Indians, and I have spoken about in the past, and we couldn't pull it together the way we wanted to last year, so we sort of tabled it to this year, and then when we had made a decision internally here that we're going to do the sort of honoring all the Calder Cups over three games. I sat down with Peter again, and we sort of put a plan together for opening night. Ideally, we'd like to have a lot of players here. It's incredible the feedback I'm getting from some of the players who can't be here. Got a wonderful email from Chris Tansel. For those really good fans, remember Chris. If you remember him real well, you remember that he wasn't here for the winning games. He had to go home to get married. But he's doing very well. He's a senior VP of a financial wealth management company out in Wisconsin, but he's coaching his 13-year-old son, and they're playing in a tournament that weekend in Kansas City, so he's not able to attend. And I've found that with some of the other players who I've reached out to that really want to be here, but their schedules, because they're doing a lot of coaching, either their sons or in other areas of hockey, are not able to work their schedule. But Mike Walsh has told me he's going to try very hard to be here. Tommy Fitzgerald had committed and then realized, Tommy's worked for the Pittsburgh Penguins, and realized that their first-round draft pick is playing that night in Boston in a college game. So he's trying to work his schedule. Chris Pryor, Mark Bergevin, those guys, the same thing, trying to work their schedule to get here. But we'll have good representation. I think we've got 3 of the best names you could get right now. We have reached out to others, and some others we still haven't been able to track down either emails or phone numbers for them, and that's a goal this week, to try and get invitations out to a couple more. But it'll be a nice night and a good way to sort of kick off the season.
More news that happened this week that was announced from the American Hockey League office. The AHL All-Star Game going to Atlantic City. A lot of questions on Facebook about that this week. Just your thoughts on Atlantic City hosting the AHL All-Star Game?
Well, I think it's a little different for the league to reach out to a city like Atlantic City and talk to Dave Andrews, and he made a presentation at our Board of Governors meeting about Atlantic City. He thinks it's going to be a tremendous, fantastic event. The group that's hosting it down in Atlantic City has really reached out to the American Hockey League and has promised a first-class event. And for those of us that have attended the AHL All-Star events over the years, they are fantastic. And it's not just the hockey; it's also the AHL Hall of Fame guys that are introduced, and it's a wonderful event. And Atlantic City is going to do a great job. It's something different, going to a city that's not in our league. There are reasons for that, but certainly it's going to be, I think, a first-class event, and tickets are already on sale. And we've certainly got information here. If any of our fans want to make sure they get tickets, we can put them in touch with the right people with a link, I believe we have, right, to be able to order tickets online for that event, which is January 29th and 30th, I believe. And we also have our midwinter meetings at the same time. So it's a great event in Atlantic City, and just announced the other day.
Get here before you know it, as always. And one last topic I want to touch upon, something that happened last week, more on a somber note. Obviously, the plane crash over in Russia with the KHL team happened, I think, about 1 week ago today. We haven't been able to record a show since then. But just your thoughts on that. I know the hockey world is small, and everyone was affected in some way, somehow, with that plane crash.
There's no question about it. It was just a horrible tragedy, and with all the flights that are going on across the world all the time, thank God there's not a lot of them. But whenever there is one, it hits home, and this one hit home. I personally did not know some of the players. Obviously, know all of the names, or not all of them, most of the names of the players. I know. Brad McCrimmon was very close friends of Brad Larson, our assistant coach. So when you say it strikes home, right to the heart. And so all we can do is offer our prayers and sympathies to all the family members of all the players that were killed in that just horrific crash.
Absolutely. It's one of those where it seems like whether you hang around hockey long enough, whether it's a coach you work with or a broadcaster. I know Chris Kerber, who's now with the St. Louis Blues, knew Pavel Demitra pretty well with his days there in St. Louis. So I think everyone has a story that gets affected, and you realize how lucky you are to, how fragile it can be. So, Bruce, again, thank you again for coming on. Another busy agenda as we get into the hockey season, and the Conca Sport and Fitness Webisode is on their way, and something we'll continue to do each week.
Great. We've got a lot going on. Season's just around the corner. Preseason games coming up, and as you said, this is a crazy time of year for us, but it's a fun time of year, and we're certainly looking forward to kicking off the season.
Thanks, Bruce.
Thanks.
And thank you out there for watching once again. Don't forget about the social media streams. Check out the newly designed FalconsAHL.com. The new official team store is up and running. You'll see the big link for merchandise on there. Check that out. We already got some orders last night.